The human brain is one of the most magnificent systems on the planet. We've been spending years trying to recreate that in some kind of computer system, but it's just unattainable. But the challenge is that with modern technology and with a lot of things going on right now, our brains are deteriorating. So we're actually going backwards rather than forwards. So on this really exciting interview, I've got Dr. Klinghardt, who's an incredible genius of a man, who's working with patients day in and day out, and he's seeing the deterioration of the human brain. Not only that, he's seeing how we need to protect it in the future, because there's a lot of technology around us, there's a lot of things around us that we need to be aware of that are affecting our brains, but we don't even realize it because it's kind of like it's happening so slowly, but we don't notice the deterioration in 5 years because it's such a slow, progressive thing. So I'm excited to be sharing this interview. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Share it if somebody else can get something valuable from it. Please do so, and please listen carefully and apply what you learned from this video. What are kind of 3 things that we can do to kind of like just make improvements to our brain function and just have better results in everyday life?
Yeah, so there's actually some statistics that shows that the IQ, the average IQ of men entering college has decreased by 20 to 25 points in the last 25 years. So it's about 1 point every year.
Yeah.
And with women it's a slightly less decline, but overall human intelligence is at a huge rate of incline because of the brain damage caused by electromagnetic fields, by environmental toxins, by the particulate matter inhaled largely from the persistent contrails, the spraying of the skies with aluminum, nanoparticles of aluminum and barium. We're inhaling that, and all that ends up in the brain. We added to that the mercury and aluminum from the vaccines. Much of that ends up in the brain. So our brain is the end point and target of a lot of toxins, but that alone the body could handle. But it's the microwave that opens the blood-brain barrier. Every time you make a phone call on the cell phone, your blood-brain barrier opens, and toxins that are circulating through the blood that otherwise would not enter the brain are entering the brain now. And of course, pretty much everybody that I know is using cell phones, and pretty much everybody who's using a cell phone, their brain is going down. And so it is really the future of the human brain depends on that we understanding that, and that we learn that the industry is changing the way we don't want to get rid of the smartphones, but we want to use frequency ranges that are not destroying our brain, which is not even studied. There's not a single study going on where those ranges would be. We know that they exist, but nobody's looking. There's no public interest yet. There's no finances liberated to look there. That's number one, that the industry needs to change, but the more clandestine part is the environmental toxins, largely the herbicides, insecticides, glyphosate, atrazine, and the aluminum dust that we're inhaling that accumulate in the brain. And there is no quick solution to that, because our whole food production is geared towards using those things. Without them, I'm not sure if enough food can be produced. I'm convinced it could be, but it would be more labor intensive and less profitable. There's again no will, no collective will to change that. And so right now, just between those 2 things, the environmental toxins and the microwave exposure, we are almost intentionally destroying the brain as we've known it. And because we've got computers now that can substitute or enhance our memory, so to say, we're probably going to exist for a while longer, you know, and use artificial intelligence like the computer for our memory instead of our own brain. And so we already have that arrangement, and so we're going to go on for a while. But the tragedy is really the next generations, because the children that are born in the womb that's exposed to the toxins in the microwave will be less intelligent, and there will be decline from generation to generation to generation until we're back on the level of Neanderthals, except those who protect their children. And that currently seems to be a small political elite that is choosing that way, but not passing on this knowledge to others. So I'm leaking some information here to the general public that they're not supposed to know.
Sure. So what you know, you've mentioned already one thing like we can do to protect ourselves against electromagnetic radiation. You mentioned about the food supply, like what are the best things that we can do? So obviously, like ultimately we go and live in Portugal and grow our own organic vegetables, but for people maybe living in the city or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately in the West now we have available either organic food or even biodynamically grown food, as we have here in the south of England. That is an absolute must to reduce the daily intake of herbicides and farming chemicals. By the way, you know, the incidence of autism is 4 times higher in farming communities than in inner cities. You know,
wow.
So the farming, the average farmer now is really a chemist.
Yes.
You know, walking through a chemical mist every morning.
Wow.
And they go through the fields. And so the rule number 1, organic food. Rule number 2, the drinking water needs to be carefully filtered with a good filtering system that takes out fluoride, chlorine, all the hormone residues and residues of other of heavy metals, aluminum and other things that are in the water. So
can you recommend one?
Yeah, I use the Berkey filter system. It's a standalone filter. We pour water in and filters through very powerful filters that not just using carbon but also colloidal silver and other elements.
Yes.
And I like this filter because it does not use electricity. The last thing is to avoid under any circumstances as much as possible the use of pharmaceutical drugs. Most of them leave drug residues in the system that contribute to the overall toxicity. And so I recommend to you the wise use of herbal preparations that are not things that are not prepared in a pharmaceutical place but are prepared by God on a field. You know? And I work very closely with a company that provides pretty much for every illness, every aspect, every symptom, herbal products. Is called Key Science. And one of the key things that we use for every patient is the Ionic foot bath. You know, that's it's a principle that was invented by a physicist in the US that stimulates the autonomic nervous system part that controls the kidney, the liver and the small intestine, and hugely increases the secretion of toxins into the stool, into the urine, and it's a fantastic simple tool of our time, you know, that helps people. You know, the equation is like this: if you inhale and ingest 10 toxic particles every hour and you excrete only 9, you will build up more toxicity, and the first place in your body that's going to break is the brain. If you manage to change the equation, that you inhaling, ingesting 10 particles of a toxin every hour, but you're excreting 11 or 12 or 13, you're going to get healthier and healthier. And that's sort of our intent with the work that I do, and that's working very well. Brilliant. So we can have a healthy life in this time, in this absolutely crazy time, but we need to know what the offending agents are, protect ourselves, make some wise decisions around it, and then things can still go well.
Okay, brilliant. Dr. Klinghardt, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I hope you found this interview useful. If you have, then we've got a lot more coming your way. Please like, subscribe, and share this information. Imagine Radiance specifically is dedicated to not only of your own health, but the health of the planet, and to make sure that you live a sustainable existence. Not only that, but you live from a place of feeling at your best. And we've got a ton more content coming your way. If you haven't checked out some of the other vlogs, please do, and make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.